Morning, peeps. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. All right. It's been a long time since we've done one of these, but let's do this. Let's see what news there is to talk about. Don't forget, if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. Don't forget as well to like and share the vids. Thank you to everyone doing that. I'm interviewing an England international today for Talksport. I don't know who. So I think they've put up 6 or 7 players for interviews. So Harry Kane, obviously, is up. Declan Rice is up. Dominic Calvert-Lewin is up. Mason Mount, I think, will be up as well. Pickford's up. Tyrone Mings is up. And I think Bukayo Saka is up. I won't get Harry Kane. That'll be England's Talksport correspondent, Faye Carruthers. I do want either Declan Rice or Bukayo Saka. I think those two are a bit funny, bit of a character, and I want a bit of a character. I don't want no boring interview. Not that the others are boring. Not saying that. I'm just saying I'd rather those two. All right. What is there to talk about? Bit here about Logan Paul and Floyd. Mission accomplished. Mayweather helps Paul seize the boxing narrative. Next. Josh Taylor, ref did me no favors, gave Jose Ramirez 2 very long counts. Why does he care? Like, this is still being spoken about. You've got all the belts. You won. I mean, I guess what this conversation can do is that it can highlight the continued disgraceful refereeing by not just American refs, but British refs all over the world, and judges as well. So I guess if he continues the conversation, it can highlight it a bit, but I don't think it will. Look, Josh, move on. You're still unbeaten. You've got all the marbles now. Forget it. Mike Tyson, Mayweather was boxing a cruiserweight. What the F was he doing? Yeah, Logan Paul did look very, very big. Very, very big. But it is what it is. By the way, there's so many pay-per-view events coming up in America, isn't there? I mean, if you're an American fight fan, it's going to get pretty expensive in the next couple of months. I'm sure Teofimo Lopez versus Cambosos is pay-per-view. Gervonta Davis versus Barrios, pay-per-view. Spence versus Pacquiao will be pay-per-view. Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury will be pay-per-view. I think there's a couple more as well. I think there might be a couple more. I don't know if one of the Charlos fights are on pay-per-view, but look, it's an expensive sport to follow in America right now, man. Jesus Christ. It's a lot of money. And look, to be fair, though, those fights are pretty good. I don't know about Davis Barrios being pay-per-view. I'm not sure about that one, but Gervonta Davis is now a pay-per-view fighter. That's it. That's how it is. You know, I didn't talk about Nonito Donair's win. I thought Donair was done. Not done, that's harsh, but I thought he was like definitely on that way down after the Carl Frampton defeat. And all of a sudden, I mean, he's found, it's not even a second win, it's like a third wind. You know, not wind with a D on the end. It's weird not to be pretty, you know, it is. Boxing makes us suspicious of things like this, like when fighters really roll back the years to what at a time when they shouldn't be rolling back the years, right? It kind of makes you suspicious. I hope that there is nothing suspicious around Nonito Donair because he does seem like a great guy, like a really, really great guy. And I just hope it's just pure dedication now, training balls to walls, and him just being better than his opponents or the level of opponents he's fighting. But it's hard not to be suspicious when someone is doing that, when I thought they were done after the Frampton defeat. But good luck to him. Again, I'm not accusing, I'm just saying it's boxing makes us a bit like the other day, Shelly-Ann Fraser-Price, who I absolutely love as a sprinter. I mean, she ran 10.63. And I'm like, that's the second, by the way, for those of you that are not into athletics, that is the second fastest 100-meter time ever for a female. The first one is Flojo. That's never going to be beaten. It's difficult not to be suspicious. The sport makes you suspicious. When, again, going back to Danair, when I see Danair do what he does, I'm like, oh, what we got here now? This was a good one, isn't it? Luis Arias beating Jarrett Hurd. Kind of wonder what's going to be next. Well, there's still so many fights at 150 for all 160. I think that fight was at 160, right? So, yeah. You know, quickly going back to this Mayweather-Logan Paul thing, obviously a few statements have come out. Some have said it's damaging to boxing. Don't agree with that, personally. We've had exhibition fights like this forever. A couple have said it's damaging to his legacy. Don't know how. How is it damaging to his legacy out of interest? Like, why? I've always said that Mayweather's legacy is in stone. It's in stone. Yeah, so it's not exhibition fights. I don't know if an exhibition fight can damage your legacy. It's a bit like the Roy Jones Jr. argument. I think Roy Jones is even more stronger as damaging to his legacy when he continued fighting and started getting beat by people he shouldn't have been beaten by. I think that's more damaging to your legacy than what Floyd's doing. Floyd's just, I don't know, just cleaning up his retirement money, his pension money right now. And if boxing fans, and it is boxing fans or casual boxing fans, whatever, are stupid enough to pay him that much, because it's us that are tuning in and buying the pay-per-view, so it's us that are paying him 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 million for him to have these exhibition fights, then, I mean, you can't blame him. You can't blame him. It must be weird for him. So when Mayweather started really earning good money was after the Oscar fight. So that was in his 30s, right? He's having those fights in his 30s. Remember he signed that deal with Showtime. Was it Showtime? Yeah, it was with Showtime and it was quite big back then. I think it was like 6 fights, guaranteed 30 million each fight or something along those lines. Those were against tough opponents. People might say it wasn't their opponents, but regardless, he's having fights against real boxers, legit boxers. It must be weird for him sitting back now at 44 thinking they're paying me more as a retired 44-year-old to fight YouTubers than they did to fight legit fighters who could have took my head off. That must be so strange. He must look at it and think, boxing's so stupid. He must even think that, like, that they really want to pay me 30, 40 million to fight this YouTuber. Cool. Good win for Daniel Dubois over the weekend. Frank Warren says that Trevor Bryan will be pursued. Okay. All right. I actually thought, I know that Dillian White and that team, I think, were looking at Trevor Bryan as a possible opponent. I know that Daniel Dubois is going to try and jump in front. Maybe he's allowed to jump in front because he has this WBA international belt or whatever he's got now. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm still a bit nervous with Dubois. I want to see a couple more. I don't mind seeing a couple more Bogdan Dinu types. I don't mind seeing that, just to get his confidence back up. Then, don't get me wrong, don't just then jump into a fight with a killer, but you make that slow ascendancy. He's only 23 years old. Like, I think Shane McGuigan's important in this because Shane McGuigan, I think, will have to be involved in the matchmaking. Will have to be. They'll chuck a few names and he'll be like, nope, nope, nope. So I think it will be done smart. But my fear is Frank Warren might try and rush him again. And again, look, hindsight's a wonderful thing, but you don't go from fighting Lattes and Tetis and Fujimotos to an Olympic silver medalist, experienced fighter in Joe Joyce. So you've got to be careful with the matchmaking with Daniel Dubois. Just because you're going to get excited, he's going to knock over what he did, for example, on the weekend. Everyone's going to, oh, you know, he's got that power, he's got everything. Let's just take it easy. Paulie Malinagi says Wilder is going to get smoked by Fury in trilogy fight. Possibly. That could possibly happen. But again, that fucking forehammer that Wilder has. But look, I mean, Fury's such a better boxer, and this is a sport called boxing, than Deontay Wilder. Such a better boxer. And I wouldn't be shocked if he just gets... I don't know what Malignaggi means by smoked. But when I think of getting smoked, that means you're getting stopped and getting knocked out and put down. Don't know if he's going to do that. I do think he's going to beat him up and maybe a wide points decision or a corner stoppage late. I don't think he kind of puts Wilder down and embarrasses. I don't know. Then again, he did that in the second fight. It's going to be interesting. Going to be interesting. Johnny Nelson, Paul fight was a reality check to Mayweather that he's 44. That goes to highlight, like, what the hell was Bernard Hopkins doing? Because 44, Bernard Hopkins was still beating up legit light heavies at 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49. That's Bernard. It's crazy. No wonder he bloody called himself, went from the executioner to the alien. But yeah, Mayweather put on a lot of weight in between the weigh-in and the fight, which is quite rare for Floyd to do. Like, Floyd weighed in and he was abs, like, he looked really good. Obviously, he's tensing his abs, I get all that stuff. But he looked really, razor sharp. I was like, geez, Floyd in good shape. When they done that interview after the fight with him in the ring, he looked very pudgy. Like, I'm not criticizing his shape. I mean, he's in better shape than I am, but looked quite pudgy. So he definitely ballooned up, I think. I think he probably came into that ring, into that ring, sort of heaviest he's ever been in his ever, which is, I guess, understandable at 44. All right, anything else to have a little talk about? This DAZN matchroom thing, obviously, it was officially announced a couple of days ago. I guess what it means for British boxing fans is that, look, the way it works is, and I think I've mentioned this before, but Sky Sports obviously pay for the fight card. That's how it works. I don't know if everyone knows that, by the way. You should know that as a fight fan, but Sky Sports will pay for the fight card. Now, it got to the stage where I think even Eddie Hearn mentioned this, that with how much boxers now want, right, go and get your money, it's difficult to put on a really good fight card because Sky obviously are not paying enough for said fight card. And Matchroom want to make their money as well. DAZN now are going to give a much bigger lump sum for a fight card than what Sky would. So the fights should be better. Fighters will get paid. It should be better. I don't know how much. I'm guessing, this is just an example. If Sky were giving 700,000, 750,000 per Saturday night fight card, I'm thinking DAZN will probably be around 2 million. So you can imagine, like, that's a big jump. That's a big jump, so the fight card should be a lot better. I did speak to Frank Smith, CEO of Matchroom Boxing, yesterday for my fight show on Talksport 2, and I asked him kind of what's the plan. He said ideally they want to, right now that they're doing 50 shows a year, which is pretty much one a week. They would like to go to 100 shows a year, 2 fight shows per week. That's the aim globally. I asked him about the African market, obviously someone that like myself that worked in the African market. You know what it is? Being over there and working on an African event. Like when I was over in Africa and I worked for ESPN and Fox, that was clean, legit. Everything looked really, really good. But when I worked for Kwesi Sports, it just felt cheap. It felt cheap, production, it wasn't great. And you would like to see DAZN go over there and really just amp up the production. Like give some of these kids a chance, give them some money. Give them some money, man. These kids over there are fighting for nothing. And which is why they take risky fights when they shouldn't. So when we see these African kids over here, yes, they're like 17-0, and we're like, oh my, but they've been through some wars that they shouldn't have at 17-0. So also, I'm trying to think what else Frank Smith said in there that was of any interest. Obviously, we know that AJ still has a fight left with Sky Sports. That fight will likely be Usyk, but then he's more likely to continue fighting on Sky because these events will be on pay-per-view. AJ will not be on DAZN like Canelo's on DAZN in America. AJ will have his fights more likely on Sky Sports pay-per-view. So will probably Dillian White. Although Dillian White, I think, will be allowed to just go anywhere. Kind of might be like what AJ might be able to go anywhere as well. I mean, he's going to be his own entity soon. So be interesting to see what also happens. What also be interesting is the price. Obviously, we have this introductory price of $199, which is almost a steal. I feel like I'm nicking when I do that. That will definitely go up to like, I think, a tenner. I mean, I've been hearing things about a $5. I think they're going to jump to like £10. I'll be shocked if they don't. 2 secs. Errol Spence. Mayweather is putting on his ski mask probably. Apologies, sorry. On and robbing Yar with another money grab. That's basically what it is. Mayweather called it a legalized bank robbery. And what the funny thing is, Mayweather just happily says it. Doesn't even mix his words. Happily says it. Like, he kind of said something like that after the Conor McGregor fight, which was way more, right? 100 million or something thereabouts. That fight he had, was it in Asia? I don't know whereabouts in Asia, but that fight in Asia. And now this one. Crazy. I just want to see if there's anything more of interest to have a little talk about. There's loads of stuff about this Mayweather Paul thing, loads, but yeah. 2 seconds. Fight camp, 31st of July, they're going to announce it. So what we're going to do, now I don't know if you guys remember, I said I want to do a prize. Now, ideally, I wanted to do a prize when I got to 30,000 subscribers. We're not going to get to that before, we might, no, we won't, before the start of fight camp. But fuck that anyway, I don't mind. I want to give someone the opportunity to come down, wherever you are in the UK, come down to London. It's going to be quite a big prize, this one. It's going to cost me quite a bit of money. Come down to London, go out for a few drinks, and obviously I'll pay for you to come down to London. And then we go to fight camp. A good one as well. So it might, I don't know what the cards are yet. The first is the 31st of July. That's the first one. Then I think it's every week after that, at least, what is it, 4 or 5 dates. So that's what I want to do. I want to do it for 2 people. I hesitate when I say 2 because I don't know how many tickets I can actually get for fight camp. But I do want to do it for 2 people. So that's what it is. I don't know what the competition is going to be in terms of how you win it yet. I haven't really thought about that. But yeah, that's what we're going to do. So it's going to be 2 people, I hope. Definitely 1, because I will be able to get a ticket. But 2 people, you come down, drinks, food, all on me, fight camp. And I even it might be a case of I have to chuck you in a hotel. So that's a fucking good prize. Fucking, who does that? Who does that? Jesus Christ. All right, what else? Jake Paul, UFC fighters don't have fair pay. Fuck Dana White. Oh, Jesus Christ. Interesting, right? I mean, he's got a point, hasn't he? I mean, the UFC, I think Charles Oliveira, I don't know if you guys know who this is. He's the UFC lightweight champion. He kind of put on his social media recently a whole spiel about fighter pay. And even that 50 grand, I don't know if you guys seen, but at the end of the UFC events, Dana White gives out these bonuses and so fight of the night at 50 grand. So Oliveira gets a lot of those because he's always entertaining. But Oliveira's like, out of the 50 grand, he probably sees like 15 of it. So it's not like, oh, here's 50. No, 15 of it. Like taxes and fucking management fees and all that. It literally gets not even chopped in half. It's crazy. Like, honestly, I think it's crazy. And these UFC fighters, it's almost like they can't stand up. UFC is it's too big. It's too big. The other options, yeah, ONE FC and Bellator and the rest of them. There's an organization in Poland that skips my mind right now, but UFC obviously pays more than all of those. So everyone wants to be in the UFC, but it's still underpaid for what it is. Underpays, man. Some of these fighters should be multi-millionaires. And they're not. It's a disgrace. Tyron Woodley's fighting Jake Paul, by the way. Now, I've seen a lot of people already like, oh, Tyron Woodley is 0-4 in his last UFC fights, and he's 38, 39, doesn't matter. Tyron Woodley can crack. I'm telling you now, this is a risky one from Jake Paul. This is no Ben Askren. This is no Nate Robinson. This is risky. Trust me. Tyron Woodley can crack. And even the 0-4 in the UFC, obviously it shouldn't even count anyway because it's UFC, but even the 0-4 has been against 4 legit guys. He's not fought bums and lost. He's fought legit guys. This is risky, mate. Jeez. What we got here? Badu Jack fought on the weekend. He fought on the undercard. By the way, it's decent fights on the undercard, you know. But anyway, he fought on the undercard. Obviously, he was supposed to fight Jean Pascal, but Jean Pascal tested positive for a number of different PDs. I think 4 in the end. You do kind of wonder what's going to happen with Pascal. Not everyone. Everyone knew that Jean Pascal was on the PDs, but yeah, now he's been caught. Let's hope he's banned for life. He should be. What is he, 38, 39? He's done. All right, anything else before we pack up? 2 secs. We'll end on this one. Spence on Crawford missing the Pacquiao sweepstakes. Aram talks shit, but Heyman gets the job done. I wouldn't say Aram talks shit. I think that's harsh because Aram has made some good... Come on, Aram's been in this business longer than anyone in the States and still at a high click. Some people might mention Don King, but Don King's kind of done right now, right? Aram's still right at the pinnacle of the sport, so I'm not going to say he talks shit. It's just obviously it's a difficult fight to make. I mean, he's obviously tried to make that fight in the Middle East. This is Crawford Pac-Man, hasn't happened. And it looks like he's tried to make the Crawford-Spence fight, but it's just a difficult fight to make. It really is a difficult fight to make. And this is what makes me laugh when people say things like Logan Paul versus Floyd is killing boxing or is damaging boxing. No. Boxing damages itself by not making the fights that we ultimately want. Like, we are not going to see Spence Crawford, and that fucking is mental. That's mental. AJ Fury AJ Fury was that. This is what upset me about the AJ Fury thing. And it's not that I got it wrong because I thought the fight was signed. It's the reaction to it. Like, some people are like, wait, and I'm like, how are you celebrating AJ Fury not being made? How can you celebrate that? That's a unification, undisputed fight. Number 1 versus number... Ain't that what we want? Boxing's killing boxing. All right, all these lightweights. Like, I don't expect to see any of these matchups until 2022, maybe even 2023. And by then, Teofimo might have gone to 140. Ryan, I don't know what he's doing. Obviously, he's had his time out the ring because of what he was going through. Like, man, boxing's full of shit, man, sometimes. But people are, like, gritting their teeth because of Floyd versus Logan. Floyd done his thing already. All right, anything else? Well, there's loads of others, but no, we're end. Peace and love, homies.